Stardom, Sid'em, DST, Week 16. I got you guys covered for the second round of the playoffs. Listen, tis the season that your league mates probably have 3 to maybe even 4 DST options stored and hoarded on their bench. And maybe you're one of them where I can give you some options in this video, put them in play, or go pick them up off the waiver wire. Rostered in less than 50% of leagues. So let's get right into the episode. Woo, let's get these lineups ready. The first defense I want in my starting lineup this week is for pure upside. I'm looking for a high ceiling. Between 15 to 20 points is an opportunity for this defense, and it's the Colts, who are highly available to you on the waiver wire, coming off of 3 interceptions in the sack game against the Denver Broncos, which is a great game, by the way, by the Colts, just based on them getting those opportunities against the Broncos offensive line that is top 10 in the NFL right now. So for them to even get after Bo Nix that one time and pick them all 3 times, I'll take that versus Will Levis or Mason Rudolph. With this Titans O-line is god awful. It's at the bottom of the league. They're allowing the 4th most sacks and the 6th most QB pressures in the league right now. And we saw Will Levis struggle last week, and Mason Rudolph, he's not immune to turnover. So I'm taking on the upside of pure sack production and the turnovers. And hey, we might get a pick 6 out of Will Levis. He's actually leading the league with 4 so far this season. So I'm going to be jumping on this upside to make a splash in the playoffs in the second round. Next up, I don't know how this defense is still available on the waiver wire, but listen, 47% of leagues, the Texans are rostered right now. If you are a team that needs a high ceiling this week, I'm going to be jumping on the opportunity that Patrick Mahomes is dealing with a high ankle sprain, and it might be Carson Wentz going into this week. It's a very short week for the Chiefs, and honestly, these next 3 games are going to be difficult if it's Patrick Mahomes or not, being that their next 3 games, they're going against top 7 QB pressure defenses. So they're going to be moving around in that pocket, and I don't know if Patrick Mahomes, with this high ankle sprain, is going to be able to get away from this Texans pass rush. They're actually 2nd in takeaways, 3rd in pressures, and 2nd in sacks. So there's so much upside if it's Carson Wentz or even if it's a banged up Patrick Mahomes for them to jump on this opportunity and put some good points on the board in the second round for fantasy managers. Next up, listen, I know this may be a pure upside play again, but listen, not many defenses are available right now. It's playoff time, so you got to get what you can, but the Bengals might not be a bad play this week against the Browns. Obviously, with Jameis Winston getting benched last week as well with the interceptions, but even if it is DTR getting the start and they want to finish the season just to see what they got in them, the upside of turnovers are there. They are there, people. And I like this Bengals defense bringing a safe floor because in the last 3 games, look, they put up 8 points, they put up 9 points, and then they put up 19 points last week. This is where the opportunities are going to come from. The sack production, obviously, with that Browns O-line, getting after Jameis Winston, how he's moving around the pocket and making mistakes, which turn into turnovers. There's so many points on the board right now for the Bengals to cash in the second round for a lot of fantasy managers for a defense that's still highly available on the waiver wire for you. You're obviously starting the Vikings this week. I don't need to put them in the video. Happy Sam Howell is going to get sacked 100 times and probably a bunch of interceptions. I don't need to put the Vikings in this video. I don't need to put the Broncos in this video. You guys should have known they were going to handle business last week with the upside of turnover. So obviously you're going to start your studs. This may be a little untraditional how I usually do these videos, but man, you need to jump on these opportunities with these 3 defenses. Now to get into a defense I think you should be fading. I think the train is over for the Dallas Cowboys, even though there is upside for some special teams scoring. But listen, you're going against the Bucks right now, and my God, they just put up 500 yards on the Chargers, people. This has been an elite top-tier defense all season long, and they went out there and let up 40 points against Baker Mayfield, legacy chasing with Mike Evans for that 1,000 yards. And it doesn't help that they got this 1-2 punch in that backfield with Bucky Irvin and Rachaad White, who are able to keep the drives alive, create scoring opportunities, and they can let it off from any point in the field to where Bucky Irvin might do a 70-yarder on this Cowboys defense. So I do not want them as an option in fantasy playoffs for any of the managers because, man, they could hurt you so bad this week going against that Bucks offense. So this wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. Leave a comment below on your start and sit questions, and I'll try to answer them all the way up until game time. For now, you guys can find me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.